Hi everyone, my name's Lucy and welcome to a week in my life as a fourth year medical student studying in the UK. In today's vlog we have snow, we have a disastrous migraine, we have GP placement and of course we have lots of studying. Stick around to the end of the vlog to come on a lovely sunrise jog with me. Morning everybody, it is Monday morning and it's my first day of GP. I am so excited to be on general practice because it is the most chilled placement that we do. We're only in 2 days a week and the rest of the time it's kind of a lot of self-study, a lot of Teams calls, and yeah, I've been getting up at like 6:30 for the last 2 weeks and driving to Mansfield and spending a full day on placement, and so to wake up at 7:30 is literally such a luxury. Look at the snow! It's also nice to have light in the morning because I've spent the last few weeks getting ready in the dark, leaving the house in the dark, sometimes even arriving at the hospital and the sun's not risen, and then coming out of the hospital at the end of the day and it's dark again, so I've literally missed all the daylight hours. For some unknown reason, I am just so wide awake this morning. I'm having a coffee, it's from my coffee machine. It makes the most amazing frothy coffees. It's a cappuccino today. But I don't think I need it, to be honest, because I just feel so wide awake. I don't know if it's because I'm on GP and I'm excited for the relaxing placement. I don't know what it is, but I'm so wide awake. But this probably means I'm going to crash later. I am going to kick the day off with about half an hour of work, and I'm going to be making some paediatrics flashcards in preparation for when I do my paediatrics placement in about 2 months. So it's a long way off, but I'm just getting a head start because there are so many learning objectives with paediatrics. I'm on neonatology at the moment and I'm feeling pretty smug with myself because I actually made my neonatology flashcards in obs and gynae, and so I've basically done it all, but I'm just going through the learning objectives and checking that I've covered everything. So after doing a bit of work, I decided to go on a very slow run in the snow. It was very icy and slippery and probably quite dangerous, but it was so nice and the sun was shining on the snow and it just looked so good. I spent most of the run just taking pictures and videos, to be honest. I was enjoying myself so much I kind of forgot I needed to get back for my induction webinar. My induction webinar starts in less than half an hour, so to say I'm a bit time pressured is an understatement, and I'm not sure whether I'm going to need to have my video on for the call or not, so I don't know whether I need to like dry my hair in like 10 minutes or not, so this is becoming quite stressful, but the run was definitely worth it. I don't know why I felt so stressed about getting ready on time because our cameras didn't even need to be on and the webinar only lasted about 20 minutes anyway, but then I just got on with doing some of the online work that we'd been set. I can't get over how sunny it is. I mean, it's lovely, but I literally can't see at my desk, so I think I'm gonna have to shut the blinds. I'm just working through atrial fibrillation now, and it's weird because we did this last year, and you know, atrial fibrillation is one of those things you learn in like first year medical school, and I just assumed I knew everything about it. But there's actually quite a lot of content that I'm learning for the first time. I've realised we've never really gone into like loads of detail about it, so you know, you learn something every day, that's all I can say. I wanted to share with you how I was making these notes because I recently discovered Notion and I found that it's so good for making notes in a format that allows you to do active recall. So how I'm making my notes now is that I am making questions out of the information that I read and putting the answer as a little toggle underneath so that when I come back to read through the notes, I can actually just constantly be testing myself and asking myself questions. I think I've decided that this is how I'm going to make my final year notes, and that's why I got a little bit of a head start on doing that now. So it's now 4:30 and I've just been in a bit of a hole of just working through all of the work I had to do for today, and I've been really productive and I've ticked off everything on my to-do list for today, so that's really good. I've done all the kind of like online stuff for GP. I've made notes on atrial fibrillation and hypertension on Notion, like I showed you with the question and answer thing. And yeah, so now technically I'm free, but I don't know what it is today. I just have so much motivation, like I don't feel like I need to have a break. So I'm gonna set myself like an hour to maybe do some more flashcards, maybe make some more paediatrics flashcards and then test myself on maybe like a bit of ENT because that's my next placement after GP. So yeah, I'm feeling quite motivated today. I don't know what it is. So I make my flashcards on Quizlet, and there are definitely pros and cons. So it can be quite faffy to make the flashcards, and especially if you want to go back and add things in, it could be quite difficult. But actually, once you've got the full set of flashcards, I find Quizlet so easy to revise and learn from. I think I probably say this in pretty much every video I make, but I really regret not using Quizlet for my earlier years at medical school. And so if you are a first year and you're considering using it, I'd really recommend just giving it a go. Taking all my makeup off and I'm just getting ready for yoga. If you don't know, I'm doing the 30-day yoga with Adrienne journey for January. It's called Breath, and I'm on day 24 today, and yeah, I really have done it every day, and I'm really enjoying doing it, and it's actually not been as difficult as I thought it would be. So I am just sat on my yoga mat, half in my pyjamas and half not. And yeah, today's one is called Rejuvenate, so I'm excited to get started. Mango and yogurt is the best little evening snack. I absolutely love it. Good morning, and welcome back to another day of online teaching. At 9 o'clock today I have a Teams call. It's called consultation skills, so I guess we will either be learning about or practicing, doing consultations. We also have a careers talk today about being a GP, and we have an assessments Q&A with the medical school team about our assessments for this year. Because of COVID, assessments have changed quite a bit. Our OSCE has been shortened to like half as many stations as it was meant to be. And obviously we're doing like the written paper, we're doing it remotely, so we're having like a Q&A session where we can ask any questions about that. I'm just going to get on to the Teams meeting now. So our first session was kind of just an introduction, so just getting introduced to everyone in our group and just going through the framework for taking a good history and having a good consultation with a patient. After the first session I got a migraine aura, and I started to panic a bit because migraines can really wipe me out, and so I took my migraine relief medication really quickly, but it didn't really help, to be honest. I'm getting a migraine, I've taken my migraine relief. I'm trying to eat. Hello everybody. I am finally sort of coming out of my little migraine hole that I've been in for the whole day. Migraines are just so frustrating. They wipe me out for the whole day. They're so unpredictable. You just don't know when they're gonna happen. And the pain is honestly like unbearable. So I've literally spent hours, like 4 to 5 hours, just lying in my bed with my eyes shut in the dark, not even able to like watch TV or anything because like looking at a screen just wasn't nice. Finally feeling a bit better. I have a dull headache and I'll probably still have that tomorrow, but in terms of like the really, like someone's hitting you on the head with a hammer headache and like the nausea that I actually get as well, that's sort of settled down now. So I get the aura with my migraines, which is where you have like visual disturbance, so that might be sort of seeing flashing lights or like swirls, or bits of your vision being like blind spots. So I get that for about half an hour before the headache starts. And when I'm in that stage, I always think this is the worst bit, and I think the not being able to see properly, that is definitely the worst bit. And then that kind of goes, and then there's about a 10-minute window where there's nothing, there's no visual symptoms, and there's like not even a headache, maybe like a teeny headache. And then out of nowhere it's just this full-blown headache that just knocks me out basically. And then I realised, no, the headache is definitely the worst bit. So yeah, I always feel extremely like fatigued and just like worn out after a migraine. It's like a struggle to even talk, to be honest. But anyway, I've made myself just a plate of like plain food. So I've just got pasta and cheese and veg and some corn nuggets, and I'm just going to watch TV now, I think, for the rest of the days. I obviously had to miss my Teams calls in the afternoon because I just literally couldn't, like I just had to shut my eyes and be in the dark. What's really weird is that yesterday I was so elated, as you can probably remember if you've just watched it. I was like so full of energy, and weirdly that often happens with migraines. Like there's kind of a prodrome where you get like really elated and then you come crashing down and have the migraine. Good morning everyone. I'm going to my GP practice this morning. I've never driven there before and it's a completely new place to me, so I'm leaving early to give myself plenty of time to find where it is and park and everything. And yeah, I'm just really excited to be at the practice. I still have a headache from yesterday and I don't feel completely, you know, on top form, but I'm just gonna go with the flow and it will be fine. And yeah, I'm excited to just be, you know, back in placement and not just on Teams, so that'll be fun. I'm gonna set off now and I will let you know how it goes. That was so stressful. I just had to parallel park on a road and I could barely fit in the space and I was running out of places to actually find to park, so it was getting very stressful. So in the morning I was introduced to everyone and shown around the practice, and then I sat in for the morning clinic. I then had a lunch break and there's a bit of a kind of gap in the middle of the day where the GPs are sort of doing a lot of admin stuff, so I just found a little space and was just doing some work. As it was the first day, I was mainly just sort of sitting in and observing, especially as there were lots of telephone appointments and a lot of them were follow-ups and things, but I did get to sort of do a couple of consultations myself, and throughout the sort of placement I sort of got to do that more and more. Generally how it works is that you will either see the patient yourself in another room first, or you'll call them, or the GP will just watch you and then you'll kind of report your findings and suggest a management plan, and the GP will sort of okay that. Hey, I'm back from GP practice. I feel exhausted. It's been a long day and I had to walk to the car and then drive back, and then I cooked and ate and washed up and everything. Sorted out like things like washing up my lunchbox and stuff. I'm going to do the teeniest bit of work and then I'm going to do yoga and then I'm going to go to bed. But basically my top tip for when you are tired or you don't have much time but you want to do some form of work is just like set the smallest timers. So I'm going to set 3 5-minute timers and I'm going to do 5 minutes of just making some peds flashcards really quickly. I'm going to do 5 minutes of ENT flashcards, and I'm going to do 5 minutes of just reading over some thyroid stuff because there's a few things that I just want to refresh my memory on, and that'll be the end of it. I'll call it a day. So short and sweet bursts of work are better than just sitting in front of a laptop for like an hour and not doing much at all. Morning everyone, it's now Thursday morning and it's my second day at my GP practice. I had to be in at 8:40 this morning rather than 9, so I've come earlier and I've actually got here very early, like it's only 8:10, so I've got like half an hour, and I think I might just have a wander around, to be honest. I don't want to just be sat waiting in the GP practice because I do spend all day there anyway. I got here early because the parking situation is just so stressful. Like I just have to find a place on the side of a road somewhere, like there's not a car park, so it's kind of like hit and miss whether I'm gonna get a space, and so I just would rather be here early and then I know I can spend like 20 minutes looking for a space. But yeah, I found a nice little space. And yeah, I'm really excited for today. I've still got a headache from my migraine I had the other day. It's a lot better now, but it's still just like this dull ache, but it's very bearable. So I've just found this really random little park and I'm just walking around this park for just 10 minutes, stretch my legs before going in. Yeah, it's very random, but at least I'm getting my little exercise in. So on this day I actually was with the practice nurse in the morning, which was really interesting because it was obviously a completely different sort of job to what the GP had done, and I also rotated between a couple of the GPs as well, so I got a very varied experience of different sort of practitioners and their roles. Good morning everyone, it's Friday morning and we actually have the day off today. When you're on your GP placement, Friday is left as a kind of self-directed study day, so we have the day off. I've just spent the morning kind of working on this presentation we have to do, and it's kind of like a case-based presentation. Basically we were all allocated different topics, so mine's depression, and so I've kind of like loosely based it on a real patient that I've seen in hospital before, but yeah, I've kind of made a kind of story of this patient who presents with depression and then how he's managed and what support is given to him. But yeah, I'm gonna go on a run now before it gets too late, because it's actually gone 12 now, so it's not even the morning anymore. Sorry everyone, I'm being extremely bad at vlogging today. Basically, I'm just not really doing a lot. I went on a run along the canal, which was nice, and I've just really been working on this presentation. I've got it to a point now where it's like almost finished. I just need to like make it look a bit nicer. But yeah, I just really wanted to get it out of the way, because things like presentations, like I don't want to spend loads and loads of time on them. I'd rather spend time like learning content that's going to help me on placement. I think it is a sort of, you know, a helpful activity to do a presentation, but I just don't want it to like take over a whole day. So I've basically finished it, I think, and I'm just going to make some paediatrics flashcards now, because I'm really trying to make sure that I do some every day. It's just so much. There's so much to learn. Like, I think if the whole of our fourth year exams was just paediatrics, that would be like a lot of content for one exam. That's probably the content of an A-level or 2 A-levels. But paediatrics is just 8 weeks worth of the whole year, so it's just very stressful. I think it's hard to convey like how much content there is. There's just so much. So yeah, that's my little rant of the week, but I'm just gonna continue making flashcards. It's 4 o'clock and I literally don't know where the day's gone, but it's a Friday, so it's like I see it as like a kind of a day I wouldn't normally have. Like normally I'd be in placement on a Friday, so I've still got the whole weekend as well, which is fine, so we can relax. So the main way I make my flashcards is by using 0 to finals. That is where a lot of the concise, relevant information is. So I will first put that into my flashcards, and then I will go through the notes of a medic in the year above me who's obviously already done this, and so I will fill in the gaps and check that I've covered all the learning objectives using her notes. And all in all, I think this gives me sort of a good set of relevant but also very comprehensive flashcards. And then in the evening I did my yoga as always, and then we watched a film as a house, so it was a nice way to wind down for the night. Happy Saturday everyone. So I had another lie-in today. I set my alarm for, I don't know why this is one of my alarms that's on my phone, but 2 minutes past 9. For some reason I must have woken up at that time once, and I set that as kind of like, you know, just in case I don't wake up earlier, because normally I wake up before like 8:30, but I actually slept until 9, so I obviously needed the sleep. I just literally was just lying in bed watching TV. I did some ENT flashcards actually for like 10 minutes when I'd woken up, because I really like starting the day with something, you know, productive that I can tick off my to-do list. So by just immediately doing like 10 or 20 flashcards, I automatically feel like I've had a good productive start to the day, and then I will like watch TV or something in bed and like have a nice like leisurely breakfast, but I feel like I've done something to like kickstart my productivity. So, you know, if you're looking for a little tip on how to start your morning in a productive way, then maybe that's an idea, and it doesn't require you to kind of get up and start like making notes or anything, just like simply going over a few bits of content or just testing yourself on something. I find is really useful, because then I feel like if I do nothing else that day, at least I've done those 20 flashcards. But I have been having a relatively productive morning, so once again I'm doing paediatric flashcards. I know that this video is probably just me doing the same bits of work over and over again, and it is quite repetitive, but you know, that's just what's got to be done at the moment. I'm now on like all the renal stuff, so renal and urology. I think it's quite interesting, and I do quite like the kidneys. I think they're quite cool. So yeah, I wanted to show you as well this new book that I've got. It's the OSCE Stop revision guide. I often use OSCE Stop online to like look up sort of differentials and to look up like history taking. I thought I'd just get the book because I just prefer like learning from, you know, like a paper resource rather than a website all the time. So yeah, the pages that I sort of find the most useful are these kind of pages. So it's basically got on it like the common differentials for basically everything. So this is like gynae histories. So if someone presents with pelvic pain, for example, it's got sort of like the symptoms that you should explore, and how you can like group differentials into different sort of categories, and like clues that would suggest different differentials, and there's just loads and loads of pages like that for everything. And yeah, I just find like having that kind of categorization in my head is really useful, and sort of having that structure. I don't know how useful it's going to be, you know, so I'm not going to like promote this book because I've not really used it yet, but we'll see, it might be helpful. Come to Sainsbury's for some supplies. I decided to do body pump, so I used the Les Mills On Demand website to do this, and I obviously was really enjoying it. I do the 55-minute class, it covers all of the muscle groups and it has such a good soundtrack, and it's all about lots of repetitions but not necessarily really heavy weights. And then after that I made a stir fry, and that was the end of the day. So this morning I'm on a little sunrise jog because it's the last day of my yoga journey of 30 days of yoga, and so yeah, I got up, it was like 7, I had to get up at 7:15, and I'm coming on a little jog. I don't know if you could see that, but there were some little bunny rabbits. Oh, there's loads of them hopping around. There's literally no one about, like there's no soul in sight. It's just me and all these animals. When I got back, I had breakfast, and then I did the final yoga session, which was about 50 minutes long, and I didn't film it because I was very sort of relaxed and in the zone, and then I just did a little bit of work. So today was the last day of my yoga journey. So it was the Yoga with Adrienne 30-day journey for January. It was called Breath, and I did it every single day for this month, and today was the last day. And as a tradition for her, I mean, if you don't want to spoil it, skip 10 seconds on so you miss this bit, but basically on the last day of the journey she just like turns her mic off and just lets you kind of do yoga alongside her without any instruction, kind of thing. And there's just something so emotional about it, because I think it's then that you realise quite how much you've picked up and how much she's taught you, and how you now sort of you can just have a yoga session by yourself because you know enough about like the moves and the breathing and stuff that you can do that. So I always get a bit teary in the last one, and it's just, I don't know, something about the music and the fact she's just sort of there with you, like she's been with you for the whole month, but this time it's like you're like equals, like she's not the teacher, you're just together. And I don't know, it's just quite an emotional experience. I think it's maybe something you have to do to relate to. But yeah, I just wanted to quickly say, like, for anyone who hasn't used Yoga with Adrienne before, or doesn't do yoga at all, doesn't even know what yoga is all about, then I would just so recommend doing one of her 30-day journeys. Like, they're just so good. They give you so much structure, especially in lockdown, of something you can just do every single day, and it's very varied. Some days it's kind of quite full on, 40 minutes of yoga, some days it's like 15 minutes, some days it's kind of more about like strength training, there might be some like abs work, or it might just be like literally lying and relaxing and stretching. So it's very varied, and there's definitely something for everyone throughout those 30 days, and yeah, I just would so recommend it. So next I filmed a video for my university. I'm a digital ambassador, which means I make YouTube videos and sort of Instagram content for the uni, and this video I was making was about life as a clinical placement student. So I was just setting up my camera and my light. In case anyone's interested in a little behind the scenes, then this is my camera. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it because I've had it for years now. I never was meant to use it for YouTube, and it doesn't have a viewfinder, so I can't see myself when I'm filming videos, which can be quite problematic, and it's not the best quality, so hopefully I'll be able to upgrade that soon. And then I never had a light before, and I always relied on natural light, but I got this little ring light for Christmas, and it's quite useful to use like in the evenings. Good evening everyone. So it's Sunday evening now, and you can probably hear my laptop sounds like it's about to take off. Like, I'm slightly concerned. I've just put a lot of footage onto it, in preparation like for editing and stuff for YouTube, so yeah, it doesn't sound like it's coping with that very well. But yeah, we've come to the end of the week. I really hope you enjoyed watching what I got up to this week. If you would like more of these weekly vlogs, then let me know. I think it's the first one that I've like properly filmed. But yeah, so basically the plan for the evening is just to watch film with, you know, the rest of my housemates and just relax really. I'm going to try and do a bit of video editing before that, because I have, I think now 3 videos I need to edit, 1 for uni and then I've got 2 for my channel. So thank you very much for supporting my YouTube channel, for coming along, for liking the video, subscribing, leaving comments. Like everyone that leaves comments and stuff, like I really do recognise all of your like usernames and I do really appreciate it. And yeah, I just hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to sort of have more insights into my life, you can follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is LucyBrettX. And I think that is about it. So thank you very much for coming along with me for this week in my life, and I will see you very soon for my next video. Bye!